Hey guys, my name is Steve, also known as TerraMantis, and this is my channel Vitcha. For those of you who don't know, I took a trip out to San Francisco where I was able to get my hands on some Assassin's Creed Syndicate. In this video we're going to talk about my time spent with the game. Full disclosure though, this is a sponsored video. That being said, all opinions are my own. The reason it's important to point this out is because, yes, this video is sponsored, and yes, I was paid to make it. My video making abilities are very much for hire. I make my living on YouTube after all, but my opinion, on the other hand, is not for sale. Alright, so now that's out of the way, let's talk about 10 things you need to know about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. First of all, we're going to discuss something that's simple but important nonetheless, and that's the platforms and performance. So first off, the most obvious stuff is that Assassin's Creed Syndicate is coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on October 23rd. The version I played was on the PS4 and seemed fairly optimized. Ubisoft has learned from past mistakes. Syndicate, unlike Unity, is not biting off more than it can chew by attempting to put too much on screen at any given time, which, among other issues, resulted in slogged and unoptimized performance for Unity. Syndicate, on the other hand, ran beautifully and had the looks to match, even for what was a work in progress. That's not to say though that this new Assassin's Creed game isn't ambitious, or that industrial London circa 1868 isn't bustling with life and authenticity. London is vast. At first glance, it's obvious London was painstakingly crafted. From the ceramic-tiled rooftops to the cobblestone walkways or the gang brawls that break out into the streets in unashamed industrial child labor, 1868 London is brought to life with a great sense of genuine authenticity and realism. And of course, in true Assassin's Creed fashion, you'll be visiting historical landmarks of London and climbing up them, like Big Ben and many others. In Syndicate, like with most Assassin's Creed games, the world that surrounds you is one of the best characters of the game. Now, on that note, let's talk about some of those characters. Of course, as you may have guessed, you'll meet important figures of history like Alexander Graham Bell, Charles Dickens, and many others. I particularly love Dickens. He had just the right amount of crazy eccentric mixed with down-to-earth at the same time.
Only Providence knows where those words are headed now. Well, I must get to work replacing them. Should you ever be in the mood for a tale or two, you can always find me where the ale is warm and tempers are hot. Ta-ta!
Now, apart from your historical figures, there's also your token Altair-like assassin's character, Henry Green. But honestly, he just felt like more of a plot device than an actual character, just pushing the story in directions they wanted it to lead. Obviously though, the most important characters are the ones you'll be taking control of. Two siblings, Evie and Jacob Fry. Evie is definitely the more level-headed of the two, and Jacob is more brash and confrontational. For the most part though, from what I played, I liked them both. They had a great sibling rivalry, but also quick-witted and usually funny banter.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah, you might be able to use this.
Oh god, I hope so.
Now, apart from their personality differences and quirks, they each bring their own unique aspects to gameplay as well. And yes, for the first time, Assassin's Creed has two playable characters. And from what I can gather, unless a narrative situation restricts you specifically, you're able to switch between the two at any time. This is not unlike swapping characters in Grand Theft Auto 5. You just pause the game, make the change, and they switch out. Now what truly makes them unique though is their differing playstyles. Sure, they both can do many of the same things like stab somebody in the face or run up a building really fast, but what makes them truly stand apart is their individual proficiencies. Jacob is a skilled brawler and proficient in combat, whereas Evie has more skill attuned to sneaking and stealth. So first off, let's talk about combat and then move into the stealth in a moment. Combat in Syndicate seem much faster compared to previous Assassin's Creed games. Beyond the pacing though, combat has taken on some new characteristics, like Jacob's revolver for violent takedowns. Overall though, the combat situations reminded me of the Batman Arkham series, but with an Assassin's Creed fingerprint on it. For the most part, combat consisted of an attack button, a guard break, and two different counters. One counter will prompt over the head of an enemy when a melee attack is impending, while the other is for dodging incoming ranged attacks. So basically, combat consisted of a bit of free-flowing brutality, quick use of gadgets like smoke bombs or your pistol, and deciphering when to counter, guard break, and dodge ranged abilities. Now on the stealth side of the combat coin, some things are the same, like the phantom left behind of your character when spotted, but aspects have changed as well. For example, entering and exiting a stealth mode can be achieved with the click of a button. When doing so, you'll pull your hood down and sneak around. When in this mode, you're able to perform instant takedowns and see audible cues around your character to indicate the directions of sounds nearby. Additionally, now Eagle Eye can mark enemies, tagging them and allowing you to track them through walls as well as see their level. So we have two characters, Evie with a focus on stealth and Jacob with a strength in combat. What multiple characters does is allow you to approach situations differently and play the way you like. More often than not, I preferred Evie because I enjoy stealth gameplay, but sometimes bringing the heavy-hitting Jacob to a brawl isn't just a smart idea, it's also pretty fun. Of course, from one mission to the next, the twins will be challenged in different ways, and your main objective will suit one twin better than the other. For example, sneaking into a factory to rescue some child laborers obviously suits Evie much better, or getting into an unavoidable gang war to conquer some territory is clearly Jacob's specialty. Alright, let's jump into some various aspects of traveling across the city of London. Parkour, for the most part, is the same old Assassin's Creed. You'll be climbing to the highest of heights in London and doing so across rooftops, up impossibly dangerous brick walls, and making leaps of faith into piles of rubbish. There are some differences this time around though. For one, free running down is quicker and slicker than ever before. Now doing a free run from the top of a building down to the bottom can be done just as smoothly as the climb to its summit. But parkour still definitely is not the fastest way to get around London. Making a return is horses and carriages. They handle very nicely and allow for some speedy travel across the city, but this time around you can hijack a carriage, slam and ram enemies off the roads, and even climb to the top and fight and commandeer a different carriage as they both rip through the streets of London. This can definitely lead to some fun and unexpected situations. Now, horses may cut down on some of the problems facing the Assassin's Creed franchise regarding the tedium that can crop up after traversing back and forth across the city in its many hours of gameplay, but Syndicate's new addition of the rope launcher is what best complements Assassin's Creed's renowned parkour and platforming across these historical locations. With just the click of a button, the rope launcher can span great distances, launch you up to the top of a house in an instant, and even perform falling assassinations from the zipline from high above. So between the improved free run down, much more interesting applications of the horse and carriage mechanics, and the implementation of the rope launcher, traversing the city of Assassin's Creed Syndicate has never been so fast, smooth, and enjoyable.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It really does help with searchability and goes a long way with the success of videos here on YouTube. It helped me out a lot and I'd really appreciate it. Also, you can click on the annotation on screen now or go to the link in the description to check out some additional gameplay of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And finally, you can go to assassinscreed.com to check out the game. There's a link in the description for that as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.